Hello and welcome back to another video. You're joining me in the shop today as I am carving this neck. I have tried a bunch of different methods over the years, whether it be just various sanders or planes, draw knives. What I found works the best and I have the most control over is this Kutzall bit on an angle grinder. It's pretty aggressive, so you have to have a light touch and be careful because you can get out of hand very quickly. Like I said, this is a very aggressive cutting tool, so I take a little bit off at a time, check it, and go back. You can always take more wood off. You cannot put more wood on very easily. Once I get my shape relatively roughed out, I tend to focus on the headstock. That is where, in the open position, you're going to feel any strangeness or bumps in the neck the most, and so I tend to have that be my focal point, and then once I get it where I want it, I will then make the rest of the neck match it and blend everything nicely. Same is true at the heel, where the body and the neck are going to join. That's another spot when you're playing up high where your hand's really going to feel anything. And so carving those two outer points and then sort of blending the middle in between is really the best way to get a consistent result. I've been enjoying doing this video thing. This is a different thing for me. I'm learning it, and I feel like I'm getting a little bit better as I do it. So if you're enjoying this, please leave a like and a comment below. Share it with a buddy. I'd really appreciate it. Once I'm happy with it, roughed out with the Kutzall bit, I will then go to a sander. This particular sander is not an orbital, so it's going to leave sanding scratch marks. That's totally fine. I'm just removing more material and I'll get out any sanding scratches in the finishing process. I just find with this type of a sander I have a lot more control, and it doesn't try to get away from me because there's not an orbital motion going on. If you've ever wondered what a guitar maker spends most of his time doing, it's this right here. Lots and lots of sanding. If you're not rough sanding, you're finish sanding, and once you've sprayed lacquer or whatever it is you're using, then you're wet sanding, polishing. Just endless sanding. In my opinion, the most important part about carving the neck of a guitar is where your hand meets the headstock and where your hand is going to be playing up higher, meeting the body. If those two areas aren't carved right, it can really just make for a miserable playing experience. And so I use this spindle sander. It's kind of got a conical head to it, so it's got two different diameters on either end, and I'm able to use that to really blend in the curvature of the neck as it's going into a flat surface like the headstock, so that way it feels seamless for your hand. Once I'm happy with it, I get this finger gauge out, and I'm not really looking for anything super precise with this as far as the shape necessarily. Whether it's a C-shaped neck or a D-shaped neck, it's pretty easy to tell. Mostly what I'm looking for is consistency and that it is the same profile from headstock to heel. The bulk of the work here is done. Just basically moving the width of my thumb over and then kind of seeing if I feel any flat spots or any weird humps going on. Like I've got a little bit of one right there. I had a little bit of one up here. This is always a spot. spots like this, where you've got some grain that comes and loops up, that's, soft, hard, soft, so that tends to be a hump. And then on the opposing side of that same grain line, it's common to feel a little bit of a bump there, and then sort of like around the headstock where your hand is going to come up, and then the heel. That area always needs quite a bit of extra work. But for this stage, we're done. I don't do full 100% until I'm ready to do finish sanding, because I don't want to bring this all really far down and then have to finish sand it and bring it down further than what I want. So I'm happy with where it's at now. Got a nice even shape. It's the thickness that I want. So the rest will happen at finish sanding, other than like probably in here and then here. I will continue to attack that a little bit more. But that's how I carve a guitar neck.